Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a wonderful day and a very grateful day. Today, I'm doing exactly the last episode, the very, very great episode on the Hive Brothers, which are a group of supervillains. And I'll see you when the schools exactly reopen on that day, guys. But I'll try to exactly do one episode during the school holidays. I'll see if I can exactly make time or exactly time or place to exactly shoot. But I won't exactly promise you that, guys. But all I'm saying that I'll exactly see you when the schools reopen. So today we have to talk about the Hive Brothers. The Hive Brothers are a group of super villains who are quietly led by War Brother, who want to secretly partner with an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Six, that is quietly led by Lord Six. Remember Lord Six that I previously taught you about in the previous episode? You guys can also look it up and exactly see. You guys can look it up and exactly see exactly what I'm talking about. Lord Six is a founder and leader of the Order of the Six that's been trying to conquer planet Earth and the rest of the sacred universe and the rest of the sacred universe and the known universe for centuries, as in for centuries, meaning for centuries. Lord Six is an ancient villain and a very powerful villain and a very powerful leader and a very powerful leader of the Six Nation Hunters. He led these hunters through greatness. But that episode is quietly on. So if you want to exactly look it up, you can exactly look it up. But today we have to talk about the Hive Brothers. In the early centuries, War Brother was exactly fighting the sacred war against the Four Nation Hunters and against all the other monsters that the Four Nation Hunters were exactly fighting during at the time when the Lord of Magic was in power. All the dark magic users were quietly dispatched at that time. All the dark druids, the dark witches, the dark druids, the dark witches, and the dark faithful were quietly dispatched by the Lord of Magic in order to seize control of vast worlds and vast planets across the sacred universe. War Brother was quietly present at that time. He exactly fought the war. He exactly fought the war against the Four Nation Hunters, able to maintain the Lord of Magic's reputation and also making him become the dominant leader and lord of the known universe and also of the sacred universe and also of the sacred world by any means necessary. He was like a powerful associate of the Lord of Magic, more like an ally and also an associate of the Lord of Magic with his telepathic and his telekinesis and telekinesis and telepathic powers. War Brother was able to successfully triumph against the Four Nation Hunters and was able to exactly conquer vast worlds and vast planets in doing so. Exactly. In the early centuries, he went straight to the central headquarters of the Shadow Empire central headquarters in order to exactly meet up with the Lord of Magic. The Lord of Magic was very proud and very pleased to see his new associate who managed to conquer vast worlds and vast planets with one fell swoop and defeating the enemy with one fell swoop. He was very quietly pleased. Brother even bowed to the Lord of Magic at the throne room of the Shadow Empire, presenting himself with those worlds and those planets. He was very quietly happy. The Lord of Magic even quietly praised him for his efforts and his work, saying that he is the most powerful villain and the most powerful foe that the Four Nation Hunters and the Five Nation Hunters and the Six Nation Hunters and all the other hunters who exactly fought him have never exactly stood up against a formidable foe such as War Brother, saying that he exactly could become a great ally in his conquest in conquering the rest of sacred existence by any and all means necessary. But unfortunately, War Brother declined the invitation of the Lord of Magic, saying that he has other plans and he has other great plans for his own and for the rest of his own secret society in order for them to remain the dominant force in the entire sacred world and in the rest of sacred existence by any means necessary. The Lord of Magic exactly told him that his plans better not exactly pose a threat to his intergalactic plans in conquering the known universe and the rest of the sacred world by any means necessary. Rob Brother reassured the Lord of Magic, saying that his plans won't exactly pose a threat to his plans or to any of his ambition or goals by any means necessary. And by any means necessary, which is exactly what War Brother exactly said at the throne room. War Brother quietly left the throne room and began his campaign started beginning with his campaign in conquering other worlds and other civilizations. In doing so, during at that time, he was able to meet up with other villains known as War Brother, Sacred Brother, Hive Brother, Light Switch. So it's War Brother himself, Magic Brother, Light Switch, and also Hive Brother and Sacred Brother. 5 members. War Brother decided to form his own secret group of supervillains and he called it the Hive Brothers. This group of supervillains was exactly assigned on top covert sacred missions by ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, the Sacred Circle, the Order of the 12, the Order of the Five, and the Order of the Six. 5 ancient supervillain societies, secret societies of supervillains, hired this group of supervillains in helping them and aiding them with their missions and their goals in conquering the known universe and also planet Earth in order to further their own interests and their own ends, which is exactly what the Hive Brothers did. But the Hive Brothers they only had their best interests at heart and their own ambition and their own goal. Seeing that these other ancient secret societies of supervillains wanted to exactly use them for their own ends, Rogue Brother decided to tell the group that they better exactly join forces and become partners with the Order of the Six. Since seeing Lord Six expanding his rule and his domain to his people and the rest of the other worlds that he managed to conquer, he decided to exactly team up with him. War Brother was able to reconvene with Lord Six at an ancient temple, of an abandoned world, within an abandoned world, where he was able to meet up with Lord Six and his people. Lord Six offered a partnership with War Brother and his group, and War Brother offered his strength, and his manpower, and his equipped war battle tactics and strategies and tactician, which is exactly what he offered, to the group and also to his organization and also to his secret society. Lord Six was very pleased and very, very proud of this development, and he was very, 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 very exclusively happy with this partnership, as in very completely happy with this partnership, literally completely happy, saying that the two would exactly help each other into aiding each other's respective conquests and their plans in conquering the known universe and the rest of sacred existence by any means necessary. But War Brothers stated that the new alliance and the new universal heroes exactly pose a threat to their mission. Lord Six told him that it's time that you exactly get rid of these universal heroes, and it's time that you prove your worth to the organization and also to my colleagues. Also to his enlightened colleagues who are called the members of the Order of the Six. Royal Brother technically sanctionally agreed with this matter, and he vowed and exactly said that he will do everything in his power, in his capacity, to remove the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition by any and all means necessary. 2 months after the two leaders of their own groups exactly meet and reconvene, War Brother started to reconvene with the members of the Hive Brother in order to come up with a solution and also a solution and coming up with a solution and the best possible way to remove the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition. Hive Brother suggests that the little magic is too powerful and the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition are at war with the Shadow Empire and also with the little magic, stating that we can't exactly take action now. This could exactly create a huge power vacuum between not just from the Universal Heroes, but also from us and from other villains. Hive Brother exactly agreed on this matter, saying that we should exactly halt our operation and removing these heroes out of the way completely, because this would exactly pose too much threat and create too much of a threat and create too much of a power struggle that's exactly going to exactly affect everyone, especially the Shadow Empire and its commanders and its warlords. War Brothers actually agreed that but they have to take care of the Universal Heroes one way or another. And Sacred Brother said to him secretly with the other members, telling him that the plan is exactly in place. Let the event play out by the way it's meant to play out, the way it's supposed to. We will just sit back and watch the Shadow Empire and the Universal Heroes fight our greatest enemy, known as the Little Magic, and taking him down. By taking out the Little Magic, it'll create a power vacuum and an opportunity for us to conquer more worlds and more planets, and forming an alliances with other Shadow Empires and commanders and leaders within the Shadow Empire who are willing to take each section and each sector of of the universe and the galaxy and the sacred world and all the other worlds within a known universe will exactly belonging to us one way or another. When the Little Magic has quietly fallen from his demise, it'll all exactly will be drawn straightly back to us. Our brother quietly agreed with this discussion, and they all came to agreement together as villains. I saw the right strategy was to exactly stand back and allow the event to play out the way it's supposed to play out, which quietly it exactly did, guys. It literally exactly did. The Little Magic fought the Universal Heroes and faced his demise, and he was quietly killed. His death created a power vacuum unlike any other, forcing all the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to secretly forming an alliances with other secret societies of supervillains known as the Founders, the Order of the Six, the Sacred Circle, the Order of the Five, the Order of the Eight, Lord Justin, Lord Havoc, Lord Winter King, Lord Shadow Warlock Jack, Lord Shadow Jack, Warlock, who's the most powerful warlock leader in his own dark empire. They secretly started forming alliances with all these secret societies and other groups of supervillains in order to aid their own goals and their own interests. War Brother was able to meet with the members of the Shadow Empire, known as the Commanders and the other tactician commanders of the Shadow Empire. They exactly exchanged words, and some of them were exactly able to exchange words, saying that they'll exactly offer all the other worlds and all the other planets into their services, and they'll exactly give them destructive technologies and powerful dark technologies as part of the new agreement. War Brother exactly agreed, saying that you joining forces with us was the right call and was exactly the right move that the Shadow Empire has exactly made. Hive Brother was exactly quietly pleased with the demise of the Little Magic. He was exactly quietly pleased, stating that the Little Magic was way too powerful, as in very, very too powerful for all the other secret societies and leaders of those secret societies and groups of villains to take him on. We were thankful that the Universal Heroes intervention and the Intergalactic Coalition's intervention in stopping his dark reign and his rule from ruling all the other worlds and all the other planets within the sacred world and within the sacred universe, from creating such a chaos and a destructive. And now it's our time to exactly rule from that destructive chaos and then from that power vacuum that he left in all for us, which High Brother exactly agreed, and all the other Shadow Empires exactly agreed. They even shook hands as part of their deal. As in part of the deal, they shook hands like this. War Brother and the other Shadow Commander, they shook hands, stating a partnership in the deal that they will exactly supply War Brother and his group with more planets and more destructive technology. In return, he will give them intelligence on worlds and planets and resources on worlds and planets, on shadow energy and all its power sources and all the other crystal worlds and planets. They exactly shook hands, and that was on the 20th of August, as in the 20th of August. They shook hands, secretly shaking hands in a very ancient temple. They shook hands within the light of the temple, stating a deal and a partnership. In doing so, it opened up many doors and many doors and many gates to worlds and planets and civilization. The Intergalactic Coalition was able to deliver a major victory by liberating thousands of worlds and thousands of worlds and thousands of worlds and planets across the sacred galaxy by exactly liberating all those worlds and planets from the Shadow Empire's control. The Shadow Empire lost the war and the battle, and its control and grip within the rest of sacred existence. In doing so, the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders decided it's time that they launch a full-scale invasion across the other worlds and all the other planets. Rogue Brother exactly told the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that it's time for them to exactly ascend to the throne in order for them to exactly slowly tighten their grip in the Shadow Empire. That one of the other Shadow Empire commanders and warlords need to exactly fight for the throne before a new little magic and his new secret society starts taking place. Before then, one of the other Shadow Empire's warlord commanders need to exactly start fighting for the throne. The throne being unseated was the worst part of all. It created a dormant power vacuum, meaning a very powerful power vacuum, forcing every other Shadow Empires and commanders to fight each other, creating duels and battle tactics in order for them to exactly fight each other. The other Shadow Empires, warlords and commanders exactly followed War Brothers' advice in order to take in the throne, which created a ruckus and a rift among all the other commanders and warlords, and that was on exactly the 1st of May, as in the first of September, and that exactly began the ruckus between and the rift between the other Shadow Empire and warlords and commanders started getting stronger and stronger, and divide within the Shadow Empire. The divide within the Shadow Empire started showing across the rest of the sacred universe. Instead of exactly showing all the inhabitants and all the other alien civilizations, started seeing the divide within the Shadow Empire itself and the power vacuum that has exactly consumed it, meaning completely. They started exactly seeing that this war is not just any war, that this war is exactly reaching a boiling, massive point, and it's going to destroy and take all of us with it. And the universal heroes were quietly forced, with the intergalactic coalition, were forced to preventing an all-out war that could exactly destroy everything, and the efforts in trying to restore peace and balance within the sacred world and also within the sacred universe before it affected the world of man. Before it literally affected the world of man, meaning humanity. Humanity cannot be affected by the sacred world. Its discovery will be catastrophic, literally catastrophic. So, the other Shadow Empires and warlords and commanders followed War Brothers' advice in secret, and they decided exactly fighting for the throne, which is exactly what they did. They fought for the throne, all of them challenging each other with their blades and sticks and weapons and swords and weapons, using their combat skills and master tactician. Some of the other Shadow Empires and warlords and commanders did not survive the duel or the battle. All their battleships were quietly decimated within a battle arena, but the intergalactic coalition was able to intercept them all and was able to take some of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders into custody. The Universal Heroes and the United Heroes were able to show up within the arena of the deciding vote who's becoming the new next Solo Magic, who's becoming the next one in line, which were able to exactly prevent it quickly before it got out of hand. They were able to take some of the enemies into custody and send them directly, straightly into the astral prison, which the prison I told you about, the astral prison, designed to house powerful super criminals and super villains and rogue superheroes and rogue warlords and criminals and super criminals and rogue enemies of the sacred world and also of humanity by any and all means necessary. They were dispatched there. Unaware that the astral prison was secretly under the control of a secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, and Professor War is exactly the leader and the man in charge of the astral prison. He secretly released those other warlords and shadow commanders within the shadows by operating within the shadows with the other villains and other super criminals in his operation in releasing these criminals out into the world and into the world of man and out into the known universe, which is exactly what he did. He released them thanks to a sacred call and a text from Rogue Brother, which he told him to exactly release that Shadow Empire warlord because he wanted him specifically. He wanted him specifically after losing the duel for the throne. He was able to exactly reconvene with him on the 2nd of September. On the 2nd of September, he was able to reconvene them. The Shadow Empire warlord and commander explained his failings and his actions, saying that he made a huge, terrible mistake. He did not exactly anticipate that the Intergalactic Coalition and the sacred authorities and the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes will be able to intercept them within the duel and within the match Rogue Brother was quietly very disappointed, saying that his masters, his bosses, his masters will not be pleased with this development, saying that this was all a waste of effort. But Hive Brother was able to quickly come in, saying no, the effort was not exactly a waste. This is exactly a perfect way to test our new experiments notation. The Shadow Empire was exactly afraid and so afraid of what they're willing to exactly do to him. Hive Brother ordered the dark magic users known as the Seconds into taking the Shadow Empire and start experimenting with them with shadow energy, turning him into a rampaging monster, as in a monster, literal robotic monster. They turned him against his will. Hive Brother was so obsessed with darkness, with unlocking the secrets of darkness and power and the power of shadow energy. He was willing to test a terrified Shadow Empire commander, turning him into a horrific, horrific monster, by the way, that had no humanity or compassion, and sending this monster as a test subject to test his creation at those heroes, saying that this monster will be the perfect weapon to testing these heroes and their abilities and their smart tactics and their abilities in overcoming. And he wanted to see if they can exactly overcome his experiments, his greatest creation, which is exactly what he said. War Brother advises him that this is way too risky in order for us to exactly operate within a public. He said that we're not operating within a public, we're operating within the shadows of the sacred world. The Four Nation Hunters are well aware of your reputation, but are not well aware of my reputation, as what Hive Brother exactly said. He told him that this is my test, is my first creation, and it's time for it to exactly to reveal its full power and its capacity onto the sacred world. It will be the first step in us tightening our grip on sacred society and on humanity, saying that. And it will be our first time in controlling those worlds and those planets by dispatching my creations against these heroes. And in order for us to see their abilities and their tactics, we have to dispatch this monster. War Brother tactically, exceptionally said that this is quietly getting way too out of hand. But if you quietly want to test your equation, go for it exactly as he said. Sacred Brother quietly agreed and said that this is a wise tactic and a very, very wise method. Dispatch the creation as he said. Hive Brother was very quietly pleased and very quietly anxious and exhilarated into seeing his creature and his creation begin its work of destruction. He dispatched he dispatched the creature on sacred city, meaning on another city. It's a city on another world that is on the far edges of the sacred universe. He dispatches creation on that city, and that creation released its powers and its capabilities onto the rest of sacred society, destroying buildings, cities, crystal cities, and everything else. The Universal Heroes were forced to take action, but the United Heroes exactly stopped them, saying that the Universal Defending Heroes will be on the case. The Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Heroes would focus in fighting all these threats and all these forces. We'll take care of this monster. The United Heroes stepped in as usual, able to exactly overpower the monster. That was successfully able to exactly take down the monster's powers and its capabilities and its engineerics, thanks to the intervention of Universal Magic Man with his newfound magical abilities. He was able to exactly subdue the monster, allowing United Man and Sacred Man and War Man to exactly use their powers and their abilities to fully exactly take down the monster by combining their abilities and their tactics and their intellect and their raw intellect and intelligence together and taking down the monster at its weak spot, which is exactly what it did. The monster almost destroyed the rest of the city, but it didn't exactly decimate the civilians or the inhabitants of the city. Through the monitors, he was very quietly disappointed, but he was very quietly happy, as Hyde Brothers saying that his creation did exactly as he predicted. Did exactly, and it was very quietly powerful and very quietly good. He said to War Brother, he'll make more. He'll make another more powerful. War Brother told him that the timing is quietly way off. We should exactly stand down and still operate in sequence. We should exactly allow the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to begin their attacks and their heavy full-scale invasion. Your creations could exactly wait. Right now we have a new associate known as Witchcaster, who is a powerful dark witch and an associate of the Shadow Empire, former associate of the Shadow Empire and an associate to all the other secret societies of supervillains, all the other ancient secret societies of supervillains that I previously told you about exactly. She exactly offered her services and also her abilities and her raw intelligence and her intellect in providing War Brother and the group with everything else they quietly need. War Brother was very quietly happy and very quietly successfully pleased with this. War Brother only asked Witchcaster one simple thing. She wanted her to monitor the Universal Heroes, the Universal Heroes on everything they do and what exactly they do. That's all that she needed to exactly do, which she exactly did exactly by doing so. She went back straightly to her central headquarters, which was exactly operating. Witchcaster is very smart and very intelligent. She maintains her usual basis of operations, and she exactly operates within the shadows of sacred existence, where not even the universal heroes will be able to detect her or sense her. Even Magic Girl won't be able to detect her or sense her, which is a very smart tactic in evading enemy detection and with the new abilities and newfound abilities where she exactly operates. That's how she exactly operates. She hides and she operates within the shadows. She's a very powerful foe and a very formidable foe that the Universal Heroes have learned not to underestimate, and an associate and a former associate of the Shadow Empire, and an actual associate of the Order of the Six, and an associate of the Hive Brothers. The Hive Brothers proceeded with their plans and with their tactics, ordering the Shadow Empire world's commanders to launch a full-scale invasion on the other worlds and all the other worlds and all the other planets and all the other civilizations. Is exactly what they did. The Intergalactic Coalition was able to defend those worlds and those planets. Both sides were quietly, heavily decimated, as in enormous devastation from both sides was quietly bad, as battle cruisers were all decimated from all sizes and also the sky was quietly falling of battle cruisers and Shadow Empire warlords and commanders were fighting against the members and commanders of the Intergalactic Coalition with the aid of the Universal Space Heroes and Universal Defending Heroes were able to exactly aid them and fight with them. The battle didn't exactly quietly take long as all the other worlds and planets were quietly saved, but it was able to exactly prevent an all-out war from exactly blooming out, which is exactly what happened. War Brother was very quietly disappointed and very quietly not pleased with this development. Sacred Brother told him that it doesn't matter what exactly happened. There's nothing else we can exactly do about it. Even if we lost the war, we still have full control, and full control other worlds and other civilization. And War Brother stated that it's not enough to please his masters and his bosses. Not enough completely. They need to exactly reconquer those worlds. The other Shadow Empire warlords who appeared with cybernetics and prosthetics implants offered his fleet and his services to the Hive Brothers, saying that they have his services and also his fleet of battle cruisers at their services. But they'll be exactly to be aid. They will exactly aid them in a mission and in their goals by any means necessary. He asked the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to dispatch their agents in creating chaos and a rift among the inhabitants of the world, and in order for them to create chaos and a rift among the inhabitants of the world, in order to disrupt the efforts of the Universal Heroes and also the Galactic Coalition, which is what the Shadow Empire Commander Warlord, which is what the Shadow Empire Commander exactly obliged. He will exactly do just that. The the agents of the Shadow Empire Warlord Commander started creating chaos and horrific chaos and a ruckus within the sacred community or within the supernatural community of the sacred world, wreaking havoc on a larger scale, forcing the Formation Hunters and the Alliance and the Universal Heroes to exactly take matters into their own hands to try to exactly see who are trying to disrupt their efforts in secrets, which is exactly what they did. The enemy was quietly occupying the heroes in creating chaos and destruction among the community, and in doing so, it exactly even got worse with the new rumors of the new little magic. War Brother was quietly frightened of the new existence of the new little magic in his new secret society. He exactly decided to reconvene with Lord Six, and that was on the 8th of October. Lord Six told him that the new threat of the new little magic won't pose a threat to his interest or to his goal, as his goals and his plans are still the way they should be. Nothing else would exactly stop it from coming to pass. War Brother asked him, "Are you quietly certain?" And he said, "Yes, he's very quietly certain." His colleagues and his members are quietly pleased with how the event is quietly going. In the new threat of the new little magic won't pose a threat to their interests or to their goals. Instead, it will exactly further them even higher and even higher and even bigger than they should, than they were exactly lost sleep than before. They will exactly do that if necessary. And Wolf Brother was very quietly pleased and very quietly happy. He reconvened with the members of the group, saying that the new threat of the new normal magic as new secret society is becoming a powerful threat to his mission and also to our goals. Sacred Brother assured him that they won't, the new normal magic and his new secret society and the Universal Prince and their secret society won't pose a threat to our interests because it already created a power vacuum that we did not exactly need it and unnecessary attention, which would exactly drove the heroes away from their backs and from their way in order for them to exactly focus on their goals and their mission by any means necessary. Guys, despite this, War Brother is very intelligent, very smart, powerful master tactician, strategist, and a very, very, very strong raw intellect, forming an alliances with other villains known as Sacred Brother, Magic Brother, Magic Brother, Light Switch, Hive Brother, and Magic Brother, forming an alliances with those villains, exactly powering them up in order to further his own goal and his own interest, and in utilizing his resources and their resources and combining them together to further his own goal and his ambition. Raw Brother exactly possesses a very powerful tactician, Nick, and also strategist ways, and he's very patient with his goals and very patient with his goals and his mission, as demonstrated when the old little magic exactly told him that his mission will not exactly pose a threat to any of his goals and to any of his interests. Showing that Wolf Brother is very patient and very master tactician. He's willing to sacrifice his number of soldiers and his fleet in order to further his own agenda and his own goals, and forming an alliances with powerful ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Six, and helping those six with his goals and with his mission is exactly what he's been planning for the longest time. War Brother lived in the early centuries. He fought the war. He fought the Sacred World's War in the early centuries. He's original and leader. He's original and founder and leader of the Hive Brother. He's the leader of the group, and he leads them with great authority. He exactly acts more like the leader he is and the founder as he is, because he's demonstrated to exactly lead the group, and he leads the group with greatness, authority. Hive Brother respects War Brother with greatness and with true humility. Sacred Brother also respects him, and they quietly work together. They work together as brothers, they actually do work together as brothers. They may not exactly share blood, but they exactly work together as brothers, as in a group of brothers, as in like all of them. They're like a group of brothers, an orphanage group of brothers working together to further their own goal and their interests, and they strengthen their bond, and their partnership in forming an alliances with other with other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and sacrificing them to further their own interests and their own goal by any means necessary is what they're exactly willing to do. They even commanded a huge fleet of battle cruisers under the command of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to launch a full-scale invasion in secrecy in order to hide their identities, and the involvement in the orchestration in the orchestration that they exactly participated in utilizing those resources to launch a full-scale invasion of those worlds and also of those planets, which quietly proves that they are a very powerful group and a formidable group. They stick together, they plan things together, and they exactly work together. Even Hive Brother was able to exactly begin experimenting with shadow energy, trying to unlock his secrets and his capacity, asking War Brother's approval to begin experimenting, which exactly shows that he shows that he respects him, and he will quietly follow his lead. And War Brother will ask Hive Brother for any advice and for any leadership, which they exactly do by any means necessary. They always exactly ask each other for advices and for anything. They advise each other on anything, war strategies and experiments, and experiment strategies. They'll even exactly help each other and advise each other on anything they exactly need to do. They all exactly remain a powerful individual group. And Lord Six exactly admires their strength and their ability and their loyalty to each other. He became quietly fond of Wolf Brother and his respect towards his compatriots and towards his compatriots and the rest of his members and enlightened colleagues, stating that he exactly loves and adores his work and his respect to his group, saying that that's exactly how it's supposed to be done by any and all means necessary. And despite this, Wolf Brother is very patient, very cunning in battle, and a very powerful manipulator, and a very strong, formidable villain, forming an alliances with other dark magic users known as the Seconds, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, the Ice Children, and the Water Children, and the Ice Druids, and also Witchcaster, the witch that I told you about, forming an alliances with them in order to further their goals and their interests, and combining their minds and their raw intellect together in order to work together as a group to further their own goal and their interests. Conquering worlds and planets has been War Brothers' entire plan and life and ambition for many centuries to come. He formed the group of the Hive Brothers, and he exactly formed it together with the other brothers, with the other villains that I just exactly mentioned to you, and they work together as a group in order in enabling the Order of the Six in its mission and also in its goals in conquering vast worlds, and also for humanity, and also for ruling mankind. They believe in Lord Six's grand vision in ruling mankind and in conquering and believing that the Six Nation Hunters and Lord Six are the rightful rulers to rule humanity with an iron fist. They believe in his vision and dream. And literally, guys, they believe in his vision and dream and in divinity. They literally believe in it more than they believed on the original Little Magic. They took a page out of the Little Magic's book, and they exactly used that book in order to learn his secrets and his capacity. They are quietly fond of each other, and they work together as a powerful, formidable group of supervillains. They are called the Hive Brothers, not meant to be underestimated. Each member possesses raw intelligence and raw intellect, and is a ruthlessness and cunning and manipulative and decisive that makes them dangerous and very powerful and very formidable. According to the 4800 database, this group this group known as the Hive Brothers, are very quietly unseen and are very quietly too powerful, not meant to be underestimated by anyone or anything. Despite that, they are not meant to be taken quite lightly. In sacred history, they have manipulated some events and some wars to their advantages in order to further their own interests and their goals. That's exactly what the Hive Brothers do. They assist and manipulate events and wars, as demonstrated when I previously told you that they can manipulate wars by dispatching a fleet or an armada of battle cruisers commanded by Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to launch a full-scale invasion in order to go after the galactic powers. They are after the galactic powers. You know power, as in real power, since the Shadow Empire has been in chaos. They are after the galactic powers, and in conquering those worlds and those planets, they are after that. That is a true target. Targeting those galactic powers and holding a grip firmly into the rest of sacred existence and into humanity, and in helping their masters achieve their goals and their ends. That is their plan and their purpose. And War Brother believes in it truly, as in he believes in it truly, completely. Well, guys, I all hope you enjoyed this last episode, which you'll exactly see me when the schools reopen. But I all hope you have a wonderful and a blessed holiday. And I all hope you enjoyed the episode known as the Hive Brothers. Their leader is Wolf Brother, founder and leader of the Hive Brothers, a group of supervillains, master tactician, strategists, strong, intelligent, raw intelligence, and raw intellect. Not meant to be underestimated, guys. Not meant to be underestimated. Well, I all hope you have a wonderful, blessed holiday. I'll see you when the schools reopen. And I all hope you guys will enjoy the holidays, and I all hope you guys will be warm and you'll be safe and you'll be safe and you'll be quietly good. So stay safe and stay sharp. And bye, as in goodbye. Bye.